Right, so here's our piece of brass stock, plenty big enough for what we want. I'll stick that in there. Obviously the first operation will be facing off, generally, nearly always the first operation. Now I had a look on the Meccano wheel I've got, and it turns out that the boss on the Meccano wheel is slightly smaller than the boss on the flywheel. So I've mic'd up one of my mics to give me that diameter there. So that's what we're gonna turn that down to for the boss. And then using the so we've got Starrett tools out in force today. Using my trusty Starrett depth gauge, we are going to measure the depth that the boss protrudes from the flywheel. Lock that in place. So we now have the amount that we need to turn the boss down to. So that's all well and good. So we will I'll zoom in a little bit on that so you can see what's going on. There we go. So we'll face off to start with. So look, there's a bit of a burr where that's been cut off, so that'll do fine. Lock the carriage. Safety glasses on, very important. So that's nicely faced off. Next we will centre drill it, because obviously we've got to drill a 1/8 hole through the piece we're making. So let's move the oops, which one is it that's in the way? Ah, right, yeah, there we go. Move that out of the way. So there we go. Only need to go in a little way because it's a small drill. Just chamfer that a little bit more. Lovely job. So that's the centre drill done. Now we're not going down to thousandths of an inch on tolerance here, so I will use my depth gauge and a permanent marker to mark a little line on how deep I want to take the boss to. So there we go. There we go. And I need to keep the micrometer ready to hand so that I can keep checking it. Unlock the carriage. Touch off. 0 gauge on the cross slide. Start her up. And I will be taking quite large cuts to start with, so we'll be looking at 40 thou. Because we've got a lot of meat to get through. I'm not going to show all of this, I'll come back when I'm near there. Okay, well we're nearly there now, so I'm going to take smaller cuts. And check it regularly. Yeah, we've got a little way to go yet. Not far now. Look at that, isn't that perfect? Right, so that's the boss part done. I need to clean up this face and then we'll drill our 1/8 hole. So clean up this face. There we go. So we'll check the depth using the old depth gauge. Yeah, very nice. It's a little bit too proud at the moment, but then I'll be doing a final face off on this end once I've drilled our hole. I'm going to take our 1/8 drill bit and I'm going to mark on it how deep I want to go in with that. We'll leave plenty of room, and I'll put a little mark on the drill bit here. You can use tape, but I find just putting a little mark on the drill bit's fine. In the chuck. It's important to pull the small drill bits out quite often because the flutes don't clear, basically. So it helps to clear the flutes out. There we go. Job done. Right, now I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm just going to break the corner using a file on this face here. Just a little bit. And a slightly larger file will break the corner on the main part. Now, the next job is to create the groove for the pulley, and I'm going to use a slightly different cutting tool. It's got exactly the same head on it as the one I've got in the tool post, but it's at a different angle, so it allows me to line it up and I can go straight in and create the V in the brass using this tool. Right, so the tool's in the post. And hopefully we should be able to... I've locked carriage. And that's all there is to that. Now, before I pot it off, I'm going to change the tool post setup for the cross slide drilling attachment so that we can drill the hole for the grub screw that's going to go in the boss. So I'll do that off camera, but I'll show you the actual drilling operation. Now, I've only recently just done a video on the changing the power source for the cross-slide drilling attachment, so you've seen it in operation before, but at least this time you're actually going to see it doing something rather than just drilling to some waste stock. And this is why this is so useful to me anyway, when it comes to repairing model steam engines. For drilling holes in bushes like this, now this is a 2.3mm drill, it should really be 2.25, which is the tapping size drill for 8BA, because I'm going to put an 8BA set screw in there. But this is why this is so useful. And when you're repairing model steam engines, restoring them, you need to do this kind of work all the time. So yeah, anyway, we'll line it up where I want it, which is roughly in the middle of the boss, which is pretty much about there. We'll lock the carriage like that, and we should be good to go. So and job done. Now it might seem like an awful lot of faffing around to drill a tiny little hole like that in a very small piece of brass like this, but it's so much easier doing it this way because you know that I know this is lined up and it's on the center line for the jaws and the chuck, so I know it's in the middle, and it's just it's worth the time to take doing the setup for this to actually get that like that. So okay, I think the next stage is to part it off. Okay, parting off time. Always a fun job. It's going to take a few minutes, so we'll come back when we're nearly done. Well, we're not far off now. And there we go. Job done. So now we'll need to put it back in the chuck and clean it up. Right, now just to clean up this face. Now I'll just break the edge with a file and we should be done. Oh, you can see that. There we go. One lovely little pulley. I've still got to, obviously, I've still got to tap the thread, but yeah, come out quite well. Very simple. Brass is a joy to machine, not a joy to drill, but it's a joy to machine. So yeah, there you go. Right, well, I'll do the tapping off camera, but that's the pulley for the Castle Products Model B steam engine.